Okay, in last lecture, yesterday we have seen what is mean by the routing protocols and what are the different routing protocols available in networking. Yes, in that we have seen DVR, LSR, then what is mean by DVR?
Distance vector routing.
दिसतंय समोर तरी सांगत नाही बरोबर. Distance vector routing. Yes, and after that we have seen the link state routing as well. Okay, so we have seen the concept related to the asynchronous system, then intradomain, interdomain. Do you remember? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in distance vector routing, at each node we have to follow or we have to develop a routing table. Yes, we have to maintain a routing table to take update of each and every router which is connected to us, router or host. Okay, and in link state routing, we can directly link that particular destination by using some path. Okay, by creating a some path. Okay, so no need to maintain a routing table at each node in link state routing. So these are the two types of main routing where we have seen the protocols under that particular mechanisms also. RIP देखा हमने. RIP is a routing internet protocol and OSPF भी देखा हमने. OSPF is the
Open
open
source path first.
open short path first.
Path.
Okay, एचजीएफ मेथड बता दिया मैंने. उसके बाद हमने ओपन शॉर्टेस्ट पाथ फर्स्ट ओएसपीएफ देखा था. OSPF का mechanism देखा था. How OSPF will execute? There are four routers which are available in OSPF for internal connection, for border routers, for backbone, and for AS boundary routers. Yes, we have seen this figure also, and we have seen the working as well as packet information and database information of that particular also. Okay, so now today we will start a new protocol that is called as a BGP protocol, border gateway protocol. Okay, so BGP protocol is nothing but a protocol which comes under the category of inter domain routing protocol. Inter domain मतलब क्या? What is mean by inter domain and inter domain?
Interdomain means globally it is available, and intradomain means it is available within a system or an inside a system.
यस, आपका आवाज बहुत स्लो आ रहा है लेकिन समझा मुझे आपने क्या बोला. इंटर डोमेन मीन्स it is globally available. Okay, and interdomain means it is available in only asynchronous system. Okay, the border gateway protocol is an interdomain routing protocol, which means that this is a protocol which can be used in all over the world. Okay, using which method or which mechanism? Path vector routing. Okay, the border gateway protocol makes the routing decisions based on paths. That's why it comes under the path vector routing. Okay, and it is totally runs upon a network administrator which have set the rules and regulations or network policies that are followed by this BGP only. Okay, so अभी यहाँ पे कंडीशन दिया है कि when the BGP runs between two peers in the same autonomous system, then it is referred as an internal BGP. ऑटोनॉमस सिस्टम मैंने बताया था. ऑटोनॉमस सिस्टम मींस विद इन अ सेम एरिया. ओके, अगर ऑटोनॉमस सिस्टम में बीजीपी रन कर रहा है दैट बीजीपी इज कॉल्ड एज अ इंटरनल बीजीपी और IBGP, दैट इज इंटीरियर बॉर्डर गेटवे प्रोटोकॉल. ओके, if it is run between a different autonomous system, multiple different autonomous system, then it is called as a external BGP. Okay, then routers on the boundary of one AS exchanging information with the another AS, that is called as a border or edge routers. जो मैंने बताया था हमने ऑलरेडी OSP में भी देखा कि बॉर्डर राउटर्स किसको बोलते हैं. अनदर एएस को कम्युनिकेट करने के लिए हमारे एएस से एक राउटर कम्युनिकेट कर रहा है अनदर एएस को, देन दैट राउटर्स आर कॉल्ड एज अ border or edge routers. Okay, so BGP generally uses these types of routers to make the communication between two or more AS. Okay, It generally uses the services of a TCP on which port number? On the 179 port number of that TCP at network layer. Yes. Now there are types of messages again on BGP protocol: open, update, keep alive, and notification. Generally, open message contains the AS ID. AS means autonomous system ID. Okay, and update is related. Update message will relates the or which updates the information of routers or host which are connected to it. And keep alive information will stay or will say us that how much time we have required to alive in a network. And notification is generally used to send the notification between two or more host. Okay, वही एक्सप्लेन किया है यहाँ पे कि क्या है वो मैसेजेस में. Then this is the example of a BGP, or you can say working of a BGP. This figure shows the BGP protocol and this is the information with regards to the BGP. अभी इसका नेम क्या है? बॉर्डर गेटवे प्रोटोकॉल. यस. See, if the information F receives from its neighbor D, so what ये F क्या है? It is a destination and D is a sender. ओके, सो एफ टू डी में कनेक्शन क्या है? ये कनेक्शन मेंटेन करने के लिए ये सारे नोड्स जो है वो उसको क्या इंफॉर्मेशन सेंड करेंगे या फिर क्या पाथ सेंड करेंगे, that is told by them here. See, from B he says that I use a BCD. From B he says that I use a BCD. Yes, दिख रहा है F का कनेक्शन किससे? B से. So B क्या कह रहा है? I use this path, that is BCD. Okay. From G, what he said? I use the GCD. Okay. Then from I, it will say I use the IFGCD. दिख रहा है? And from E, he says that I use the EFGCD. दिख रहा है? So these are all the information which is taken from each and every node for sending the information from D to F. Okay, so that's why it is called as a border gateway protocol. Why? Because it generally runs on the border of each and every node. Okay, simple है? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then there are multiple attributes which are present on the border gateway protocol. First of all, origin. Origin means it is the source of the routing information, means it contains the origin routing protocol which is used in that border gateway protocol. That comes under the RIP or OSPF. ये information वो origin attribute में डालेगा. ठीक है, वो राउटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोटोकॉल यूज कर रहा है या फिर OSPF प्रोटोकॉल यूज कर रहा है, that will be entered in origin attribute. Then AS path, the name suggests that the list of AS means asynchronous system जितने भी होंगे वो बाद में from source to destination, that will be mentioned under the AS path. Okay, then next hop contains the information of a next hop of that particular router. Okay, so these are the attributes of a border gateway protocol. Okay, so that's all, and this is the border gateway protocol. Now we will see the ARP and RARP. ARP नाम सुना है आपने कभी? सुना है क्या?
Yes, ma'am.
एड्रेस रेजोल्यूशन प्रोटोकॉल. Okay, we will see in detail ARP and RARP. Okay, ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol, and it is a reverse, that is Reverse Address Resolution Protocol. Okay, that's why it is called as the RARP. You can see in this figure, it takes the logical address from the system and it converts that logical address by using a ARP server into a physical address. Okay, it gets the physical address from the system. Okay, then it takes the physical address from the system, and by using a RARP server, we can get the logical address of that particular system. So, what is the difference between logical address and physical address? First of all, tell me that. which is the address we can call it as a logical address, and which address we can call it as a physical address. कौन से एड्रेस को हम लॉजिकल बोलते हैं एंड कौन से एड्रेस को फिजिकल एड्रेस बोलते हैं?
MAC
MAC address physical.
MAC address is a physical and
Yes,
IP
MAC
address.
address is our physical address of our device. Yes, it can be either PC, it can be either modem or printer, etc., etc. So each hardware system which is connected in a networking, which has a MAC address, that address is called as physical address. And logical address,
IP address.
yes, IP address. So IP address of each and every device is called as a लॉजिकल एड्रेस. ओके, सो अगर हमारे पास लॉजिकल एड्रेस होगा और फिजिकल एड्रेस नहीं होगा, देन एआरपी सर्वर क्या करेगा? एड्रेस रिजोल्यूशन प्रोटोकॉल बोलते हैं इसको. तो एआरपी सर्वर जहाँ पे भी मेंशन है या फिर जहाँ पे भी प्लेस है, it will help us to take the physical address of that particular PC to us. Okay, you can see in figure, वही explain किया है यहाँ पे. ARP associates an IP address with its physical address on a typical physical network such as a LAN. Each device on a link is identified by a physical or station. Okay, so the delivery of a packet to a host or a router requires a two-level addressing, that is logical and physical. अभी लॉजिकल एंड फिजिकल एड्रेस कहाँ पे लगता है हमें? इन पैकेट इन्फॉर्मेशन. आपने अगर पैकेट हेडर अच्छे से देखा होगा तो पैकेट हेडर में फिजिकल एड्रेस एज वेल एज लॉजिकल एड्रेस इज कंटेन. ओके, so physical address is a MAC address of our PC and logical address is the IP address of our PC. Okay, so we need to able to map this logical address to its corresponding physical address and vice versa. भी vice versa किससे होगा? RARP से. ठीक है, this can be done using either a static or a dynamic mapping. There are two methods for mapping of a logical and physical addressing, static and dynamic. But static method is not feasible. Okay, it is not practical. So we use a dynamic method. So that dynamic method is called as a ARP. Okay, address resolution protocol. See in this figure you can see this. Now this is the system A, okay, which knows the logical IP, logical address of that particular PC, but it doesn't know the physical address of that PC. So it broadcasts a message. Okay, it sends a request in the form of a broadcast. Okay, what it says, looking for a physical address of a node with IP address. ये IP address का physical address हमें पता नहीं है. So ये broadcast करेगा message. So broadcast करने के बाद यहाँ पे देखिएगा कि वो ARP server कहाँ पे. ठीक है, suppose system B is a ARP server, then he takes that particular request and he checks for the IP address along with the physical address. Then it will reply that particular physical address to that node. Okay, but it is done in unicast way. Unicast मतलब जिसने रिक्वेस्ट किया है आईपी एड्रेस का उसी को वो सेंड करे. ओके, बट ये जो है request for a physical address, it can be broadcast. Always remember that ARP and RARP protocol में जो भी रिक्वेस्ट सेंड होती है, ARP रिक्वेस्ट और RARP रिक्वेस्ट सेंड होती है, वो ब्रॉडकास्ट होती है. एंड जो रिप्लाई होता है, दैट रिप्लाई कम्स फ्रॉम दैट सर्वर इज ऑलवेज इन अ यूनिकास्ट. ओके, अंडरस्टूड?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the ARP packet. Same packet है दोनों के, that contains the information of sender and receiver. You can see that hardware type which is used, protocol type, which protocol is used here, hardware length, protocol length, operation request means which physical address or logical address you are required. He is mentioned here. Then sender's hardware address means MAC address. Then sender's protocol address, that is the IP address. Then target hardware address and target protocol address. Okay, अभी ये sender and target मतलब क्या है? Sender and receiver. Okay, so this information is required for the receiver and this information is required for the sender. Okay, so this is the information which is required or which is placed at the in the ARP packet. Always remember that an ARP request is a broadcast and ARP reply is unicast. Okay, same concepts are applicable to RARP also. RARP request is broadcast and RARP reply is unicast. See, the RARP is nothing but the method which finds the logical address for a machine that only knows its physical address. मतलब अभी आपको MAC address पता है आपको but IP address पता नहीं है, then you can use the RARP method. Always remember that ARP is used to get the logical address, physical address of that particular PC if you know the logical address. Okay, and RARP is used to find the logical address of that PC if you know the physical address. Got it? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So reverse address resolution protocol is generally used in a thin client workstations where no disk are used to boot the system or to store the IP addresses. अभी देखो हमारे जो PC है लैब में लगाए हुए हैं या फिर आप घर पे जो यूज कर रहे हो तो विच हैज अ सम स्पेसिफिक डिस्क है, हार्ड डिस्क है ना आपके पीसी में, that stores the all information, booting information, boot stamp information, IP address information and other information which is related to your operating system is stored at on that disk. Yes. तो आपका आईपी एड्रेस आपको पीसी स्टार्ट करने के बाद हर बार चेंज करना पड़ता है क्या? नहीं ना?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Yes. Why? Because we have already stored these IP addresses or this type of information on our disk. Okay, permanently you can call it. But where we use the thin clients, there is no disk is available to store a particular information, such type of information. There we require RARP protocol. Means we know the physical address of that particular PC, but we don't know the IP address of that PC. That's why the RARP protocol is used. Okay. See, same figure है आप देख सकते हो. Here my physical address is this. I am looking for my IP address. It sends a request in a broadcast form. You can see that ये broadcast हो रहा है सब PC पे, ठीक है. Here the RARP server is placed. So RARP server sends this request or sends this reply with the IP address of that physical address to that particular host. So it is in a broadcast way and it is in a unicast way. Understood? This is the concept only ARP and RARP. समझा क्यों यूज होता है?
मॅम म्हणजे ARP जेव्हा मॅक ऍड्रेस फाइंड करायचा असतो आणि IP ऍड्रेस असतो तेव्हा ARP ना, आणि
ARP
जेव्हा
केवळ
मॅक
लेबल
ऍड्रेस माहिती असतो आणि IP ऍड्रेस फाइंड करायचा असतो तेव्हा RARP.
तेव्हा RARP. Yes.
ओके.
Okay. If you know the MAC address and you don't know the IP address, then RARP server is used. And if you know the IP address but doesn't know the physical address, means MAC address, then you can use the ARP. Okay. समझा?
यस मॅम.
कोई डाउट इसमें?
No, ma'am.
Now same packet information containing in the RARP packet. You can see that this part is same. Sender hardware address is here, central protocol address is here, target hardware address is here, and target protocol address is here. Okay, same information is containing in both packets, ARP packet and RARP packet. Okay, understood? These are the concepts ARP and RARP. Now we will see the MPLS. MPLS stands for the multi protocol link state, I think. Sorry, multi protocol label switching. अभी ये क्या होता है? This is the concept of combining two protocols information or two protocols mechanism into one. You can see here combining the forwarding algorithm used in ATM with IP. अभी देखो ATM जो है that is asynchronous transfer mode which uses the circuit switching. Okay, and IP that is the internet protocol which uses a packet forwarding. So we can combine both features and we can make a hybrid mechanism that is done by using MPLS. Okay, multiple protocol label switching it is called as. Got it? Concept क्या है? We can combine the mechanism of multiple protocols or multiple mechanism into one. So that's why it is called as a MPLS, multi-protocol label switching. See, you can see the basics of MPLS. It is arranged between the layer 2 and layer 3. You can see IP protocol कहाँ पे use होता है? Layer 3 पे, network layer पे. Yes. एंड
Yes, ma'am.
ATM प्रोटोकॉल कहाँ पे यूज होता है? एट द नेटवर्क, एट द डेटा लिंक लेयर. ओके, सो डेटा लिंक लेयर एंड IP दैट इज नेटवर्क लेयर, दोनों में MPLS है, दिख रहा है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So it combines the features of IPs and ATMs also. Then it will be functioning with the IP protocol and ATM protocol as well. So it is placed between the network layer and data link layer. Okay. So what are the characteristics? The mechanism to, it is a mechanism to manage the traffic flows of various granularities. That is, the flow management can be done by this. It is independent of a layer 2 and layer 3 protocol. Okay. It maps the IP address to fix the length of a labels, and it supports the ATM, frame relay and Ethernet. Okay. मतलब नेटवर्क लेयर एंड डेटा लिंक लेयर के जो फंक्शंस है वो कंबाइन किए इसमें, ATM, फ्रेम रिले एंड Ethernet. Ethernet is the network layers protocol. ATM and frame relay are the functions of a data link layer. Okay. So what does the label contains? See, you can see the headers. ये link layer header है, ये network layer header है, and other layer headers are there also in OSI layer model. Okay, where we have added a new header, that is MPLS shim. So this header contains this information. See, the label means the combinations of these both functioning. Then this is the experimental bits. It is used for a class of a service. Then this is the bottom of stack, which is generally used to which labels should be followed. Okay, and TTL, that is the time to live. Time to live is generally used to take the time, how much time we can live within a network. Okay, सेम एज IP में जो हम टाइम टू लिव यूज करते हैं वही टाइम टू लिव हमने यहाँ पे यूज किया. तो दिस इज अ MPLS. सो MPLS में दो कॉन्सेप्ट है, LER एंड LSR. ओके, हाउ इट इज यूज we will see in a figure later on. First of all, learn this concept. First is a LER, that is the label edge router. It resides at the edge of an MPLS network and assigns and removes the labels from the packet. You can see the figure. See, this is the one PC and this is another piece. Okay. हम क्या कर रहे हैं अभी, डेटा लिंक लेयर एंड नेटवर्क लेयर के फंक्शनिंग साथ में कर रहे हैं. सो LER is here, LER is here. What it does, resets at the edge of an MPLS network and assigns and removes the label from the packet. ये जो labels आए हैं, this is the labels. Okay, दिख रहे, that labels will be removed and assigned by the LER. It supports some multiple ports connected to a dissimilar network such as a frame relay, ATM and Ethernet. इसमें हम यूज कर सकते हैं LER. Okay, and what is the LSR? LSR is a high speed router in the core on a MPLS network. ATM switches can be used as a LSR without changing their hardware. Label switching is equivalent to VP, that is the virtual PC and virtual circuit network. Okay, that uses the same mechanism. ये क्या कर रहा है, LSR देखो यहाँ पे LSR are placed here. So what it does, labeling of that particular IP packets to it. यहाँ पे देखो LER क्या कर रहा है, यहाँ पे ये लेबल ऐड किया उसने, ठीक है. LSR ने क्या किया, ये लेबल उसको दिया है 5. Then this LSR will give the label that is 9. Then what does this LER? LER removes this label from this packet, and at the end, the information will be received without a label. Okay. So this is the LER. You can see this IP address. This is out label is a 5. Then at the label swapping हुआ यहाँ पे सेकेंड पोजीशन पे, 5 जो था वो 9 हुआ. देन नेक्स्ट लेवल पे क्या हुआ, 9 जो था वो 2 हुआ. एंड नेक्स्ट लेवल पे क्या हुआ, LER में जो 2 था दैट इज रिमूव, एंड जो नेक्स्ट होप है उसको जो हमारा पैकेट है वो सेंड हुआ. ठीक है. So that's why this MPLS is used. MPLS is generally used to make the combination of ATM with the IP. Okay, asynchronous transfer mode and IP का combination किया है, that's why it is called as a multiple protocol switch layer. Okay. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of MPLS? It improves the packet forwarding performance in the network. Generally, it supports for the quality of service and cost of service. Okay, अगर both functions combine की, it means it can provide you the quality as well as cost benefit. Then it supports the network scalability. It integrates IP and ATM, as we all know that. It builds the interoperable networks. Okay. And what are the disadvantages? A additional layer must be added in the OSI layer, and the router has to understand the MPLS. जो भी router हम place करेंगे at the layer 2 or layer 3, it should understand what is the MPLS. Okay, so वो mechanism हमें उसमें डालना पड़ेगा to understand the MPLS system. These are the advantages and disadvantages of the MPLS. Understood what is MPLS?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Now, next concept is that mobile IP. Abhi, the name suggests that mobile IP. It means that सुना है कभी आपने? सुना है या नहीं? मोबाइल मतलब क्या? Not your mobile device. A mobile device
It
में
can change.
smart.
Movable.
Yes, movable. The device which is movable around you, and the electronic device, you can call it as an electronic device that can be movable. Okay, so that is comes under the mobiles. Okay, so the mobile IP developed as a means for transparently dealing with the problems with the mobile users. Mobile users मतलब जो भी movable device है, that users can use this mobile IP mechanism. It enables a host to stay connected to the internet regardless of their location without changing the IP address. अभी देखो आप आपका मोबाइल यूज कर रहे हो, ठीक है, आपके मोबाइल को IP एड्रेस किसने दिया है पता है क्या आपको? पता है क्या?
No, ma'am.
नहीं पता है. आपने कभी जाके देखा है कि हम आपके मोबाइल का IP एड्रेस क्या है? नहीं देखा है ना?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. देखा है.
Yes, ma'am.
देखा है. Which type of IP is given to your mobile? What is the class of that IP? देखा है क्या?
No.
No.
No, you can see directly your IP of that mobile in a system device information, or you can see in a developer options also. Okay, mobile IP is generally given by your ISP. Yes, Abhishek बोलते का?
Oh, it's class A IP address.
Yes, it's class A IP address, but it is a public IP address which is given to your mobile. Public or private it may be. Depends on your ISP. ISP कौन होता है? अभी आपके मोबाइल में ISP is nothing but your SIM card provider. Okay, if it is Airtel, if it is Jio, if it is Idea, etc., etc., that are the ISPs which provides you the IP address to your mobile devices. Okay, so mobile IP generally used to connect your PCs or your network or your mobile phones, laptops, etc., etc., that are movable, that has IP addresses. So you can move that device without changing the IP addresses. Okay, that's why this facility or mobile IP, mobile internet protocol is there to provide you the service of a network. Okay, it requires no changes in the software of a non-mobile host or routers. हमें कुछ भी चेंज नहीं करना पड़ता है. ठीक है, इट रिक्वायर्स एडिशन ऑफ अ सम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. अभी हमें एडिशनल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लगेगा टू use this mobile IP. Why? Because we require a Wi-Fi devices, or we require some agents, or we require some access points to give a network. Okay, has no geographical limitations, requires no modifications to IP address, supports the security, and IETF standardization process is still underway. IETF पता है क्या? IETF is nothing but an Internet Engineering Task Force. ये हमने पहले भी देखा है. This is the organization which handles all the protocols, all the standards which are given by them. ओके, जो भी स्टैंडर्ड्स हम यूज करते हैं, प्रोटोकॉल्स यूज करते हैं नेटवर्किंग में, दैट आर डिफाइंड बाय आईईटीएफ ओनली. ओके, सो मोबाइल आईपी के स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन प्रोसेस इज अगेन इन अंडर वे है. प्रोसेस जो है वो, ठीक है, बहुत सारी प्रोसेस अभी भी चल रही है. सो दिस इज द मोबाइल आईपी. So where in mobile IP we have some concepts or entities that can be used over the network. मोबाइल आईपी में हम क्या यूज करते हैं वो आपको पता ही नहीं है, लेकिन हम अभी देखेंगे, जस्ट अ सेकेंड ना। Okay, so there are some entities in a mobile IP. First one is a mobile node. Mobile node means your mobile device. That can be your laptop, your mobile, your smartphone, etc. etc. Okay, the entity that moves from the network to network. Then it has assigned a permanent IP called its home address to which other hosts send packets regardless to मीन्स लोकेशन। अभी आप सोचोगे कि इसका एग्जांपल क्या है, आपका मोबाइल डिवाइस जो है दैट इज द बेस्ट एग्जांपल ऑफ दिस मोबाइल नोड। आप कहीं भी जाते हो, कहाँ पे भी जाते हो तो भी आपका आईपी एड्रेस चेंज नहीं होता, होता है क्या? नहीं होता ना। तो आपका लोकेशन कुछ भी हो उसको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, लेकिन आपको इंफॉर्मेशन आती है। ओके, सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज अ मोबाइल नोड। देन व्हाट इज द होम एजेंट? होम एजेंट इज अ राउटर with the additional functionality located on a home network of a mobile node। अभी ये राउटर क्या होगा फिर आपके मोबाइल के लिए? That is your ISP's router or it can be your tower। Okay, mobility binding of a MN's IP with the care of address, that is the COA। जो भी एड्रेस है हमारा that will be bind together with the mobile node's IP। This is the working of a home agent। Okay, it forwards the packets to appropriate network when MN is away and it uses a encapsulation method। encapsulation पता है ना हमें क्या है? Yes or no? Encapsulation, decapsulation।
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Encapsulation means binding together information। Okay, if the multiple information is available with respect to a particular thing, मतलब जो सपोज आपका मोबाइल डिवाइस है उसका आईपी एड्रेस है, उसका फिजिकल एड्रेस है। ओके, ये दोनों थिंग्स जो है वो आपके मोबाइल रिलेटेड ही है, तो वी कैन कंबाइन दिस इंफॉर्मेशन इन वन पैकेट and we will have this, so it is called as encapsulation। Okay, so encapsulation can be also used in home agent when forwarding a packets to the mobile node। Okay, again foreign agent is there। Foreign agent is stand for FA। Another, it is another router with enhanced functionality। It is generally used to send and receive data between mobile node and home agent। मतलब मोबाइल नोड जो है वो आपका मोबाइल डिवाइस एंड होम एजेंट, ये दोनों के बीच में कम्युनिकेशन करने का काम करता है फॉरेन एजेंट। ओके, इट एडवर्टाइजेस इटसेल्फ पीरियडिकली। पीरियडिकली मीन्स ये नेटवर्क में ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाता है और वो खुद की इंफॉर्मेशन खुद होके होम एजेंट एंड मोबाइल नोड को देता है। देन व्हाट इज मीन बाय केयर ऑफ एड्रेस? इट इज एड्रेस व्हिच आइडेंटिफाइज द मोबाइल नोड्स करंट लोकेशन। ओके, जहाँ पे भी आप हो दैट विल बी गिवन बाय द केयर ऑफ एड्रेस। इट इज सेंड बाय FA, दैट इज फॉरेन एजेंट टू होम एजेंट व्हेन MN अटैचेस। जब भी मोबाइल नोड का कनेक्शन में आता है तो वहाँ पे वो इंफॉर्मेशन देने का काम करता है। ठीक है, फ्रॉम फॉरेन एजेंट टू होम एजेंट। इट इज जनरली यूज द IP एड्रेस ऑफ द FA। ओके, फॉरेन एजेंट का IP एड्रेस यूज करता है टू मेक द कम्युनिकेशन बिटवीन फॉरेन एजेंट विद द होम एजेंट। एंड नेक्स्ट concept is correspondent node। Correspondent means it is a end host to which MN is a corresponding। That means the web browser or a web server। जहाँ पे भी आप कनेक्ट कर रहे हो, कौन सा वेबसाइट एक्सेस कर रहे हो या फिर आप एप्लीकेशन एक्सेस कर रहे हो आपके मोबाइल पे, so that comes from the web server, so it comes under the corresponding node। You can see in this figure, see this is the mobile network, mobile node। okay, ये मोबाइल नोड कंसिडर करो, ठीक है, एंड दिस इज द होम एजेंट। अभी आप घर पे हो, इसका मतलब क्या, यू आर कनेक्टेड टू द होम एजेंट। okay, so agent solicitation message will be come from this and home agent will send the advertisement to this। okay, so communication is takes place between this router to this device only। तो ये कम्युनिकेशन होने के बाद वो नेटवर्क एक्सेस कर सकता है। बट इफ योर मोबाइल होस्ट आफ्टर मूव, मतलब जो मोबाइल होस्ट है वो आपकी खुद के जगह पे नहीं है, होम के जगह पे नहीं है, बाहर की जगह में है, then foreign agent is used। okay, foreign agent will make the communication between you and agent, then it will send the registration request, then it will be approved by the home agent, and then it will be send the reply back to the mobile host which is in another location. Okay, and this is the remote host which generally does the data transfer. ओके सो फेजेस दिए वहाँ पे फेज 1 क्या है, एजेंट डिस्कवरी होता है कि कौन सा एजेंट हमारे मोबाइल नोड में है. सेकेंड है कि रजिस्ट्रेशन होता है अगर मोबाइल नोड हमारा बाहर है. एंड थर्ड फेज है डेटा ट्रांसफर विच इज कम्स अंडर इन रिमोट होस्ट. अंडरस्टूड. मोबाइल नोड क्या है एंड मोबाइल आईपी क्या है, मोबाइल इंटरनेट प्रोटोकॉल. यस और नो?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what are the services which provided by the mobile IP? It supports the agent discovery. Agent discovery अभी आपको पता है, this is generally as a network discovery, which discovers the HAs and FS. Okay, HA means home agents and foreign agents broadcast their presence on each network to which they are attached. वो हर कोई होम एजेंट एंड फॉरेन एजेंट एडवर्टाइज करता है खुद की कि हम इस नेटवर्क में हैं. देन that can be connected by the mobile nodes automatically. Okay, so that comes under the agent discovery, and mobile nodes listen for advertisement of that home agent and foreign agent, and then it will initiate the registration process. Okay, what will be done at the registration? When MN is away from the home agent, it registered with the care of address with the HA via FA. As I have already told you that it does this registration via FA to HA. Okay, by sending the corresponding address, the correspondence of care of address, that is COA. Okay, then registration control messages sent via UDP packet, that is user data packet to well known port. TCP पोर्ट पे ही होता है ये सब नेटवर्क लेयर पे. ठीक है. देन व्हाट इज द सर्विस, दैट इज एनकैप्सुलेशन एंड डीकैप्सुलेशन. इट्स जस्ट लाइक एज अ स्टैंडर्ड आईपी विथ ओनली COA. जो केयर ऑफ एड्रेस है एंड योर IP एड्रेस दैट विल बी एनकैप्सुलेटेड within the foreign agent. Okay, these are the types of services which can be provided by the mobile IP. And this is the operation which is explained here. This operation we already discussed in this figure. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
कैसे ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म होता है वही दिया है यहाँ पे कि MN listens for agent advertisement, then it creates the connection between home agent and foreign agent, then it will send the request from the foreign agent. Foreign agent is responsible to take the connection from the home agent, then it will connect back to the mobile node. Okay, this is all a mobile IP. Understood? समझा अभी? सिंपल कंसेप्ट है
Yes,
ये.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now next is routing in MANET. MANET सुना था हमने, MANET, VANET. VANET सुना है, MANET भी सुना है क्या? याद है क्या? VANET सुना, VANET इन वायरलेस एरिया नेटवर्क सुना था क्या? VANET.
Yes.
VANET means wireless ad hoc network. Okay, and MANET means
Mobile ad hoc.
mobile ad hoc network. Okay, so in that we will see the protocols. दो protocol है उसमें, AODV and DSR. How that can be work over the mobile IP we will see. Okay, so how the routing will be performed in MANET we will see in this particular topic. Okay, there are unicast routing protocols are there. That protocols are proposed in system, some specifically invented for the MANETs and others adapted from the protocols of a wired networks. जो wired network में protocols है, that will function same with the MANET also. Okay, so no single protocol works well in all environments. That's why some attempts made to develop adaptive or hybrid protocols. मतलब दो protocols या तीन protocols mix करके MANET में हमने protocols use किए हैं. ठीक है. So standardization of that particular protocols will be done by this IETF, that is Internet Engineering Task Force. Yes, याद रहेगा ये इंटरनेट इंजीनियरिंग टास्क फोर्स. दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल to give us a internet. Okay, So there are three types of a protocol. First one is a proactive protocols, second one is a reactive protocols, and third one is a hybrid protocols. ये बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है आपको, but you can see the concept. Okay, proactive means traditional protocols जो भी हमने अभी तक देखे हैं, that protocols comes under into these proactive protocols. It maintains a route between the every host and peer, as we all have seen. Then it based on a periodic updates. So that's why high routing overhead is there. Periodic update रखता है हर एक डिवाइस का which is connected to it. Okay, example of this is DSDV, that is destination sequenced distance vector protocol. Okay, then reactive protocols कौन से हैं? Reactive means the name suggests that it reacts, okay, when required, determine route if and when needed. It determines the route if and when needed, or if and when demanded by the host, it will react only. Okay. Then source initiates the route discovery, and example of this is the DSR, that is dynamic source routing. ये क्या है हम देखने वाले हैं आगे, dynamic source routing. Okay, and next one is a hybrid protocol. So hybrid, the name suggests that this is the protocol which is a combination of both proactive and reactive. Okay. So here the example is a ZRP, Zone Routing Protocol. You have not in your syllabus that is zone routing protocol. You just have the idea of a hybrid protocol. Okay. Now, protocol trade-offs. Trade-offs matlab what will be the output upon these protocols. Okay. Proactive protocols में क्या है? It always maintains the routes. Little or no delay for route determination. Consumes bandwidth to keep the routes information up to date, and it maintains the routes which may never used. So that is the wastage of storage. Okay, and reactive protocols का trade off क्या है? Lower overhead since routes are determined on demand, then significant delay in route determination, then employ flooding, global search करता है ये, and control traffic may be busty. So these are the trade-offs of a reactive protocol. But both trade-offs will be depends on the traffic and mobility patterns. जो भी traffic के network में तो दोनों के trade off depends है कि किसका trade off अच्छा होगा. Okay. So next protocol in your syllabus, that is a dynamic source routing. अभी dynamic source routing and आपको AODV है आगे, दोनों में difference क्या है वो हम देखेंगे. Just see these types of concepts here. Okay. See when node S wants to send a packet to node D but does not know the route to D. Then node S initiates a route discovery. Okay, so ये route discovery initiate करता है node S. Source node S floods the route request. Route request stands for the RREQ. Okay, it is called as a route request. Then each node appends own identifier when forwarding the route request. जो भी बीच में नोड है वो क्या करता है, उसका आइडेंटिफायर ऐड करता है when it sends the request to the next hop. You can see in figure. This is तुम्हाला, this is the S node. Okay, this is the D node. आता याला root माहित नाही है तो काय करता आता he wants to find out the route to the D. So he broadcast route request message. Then that message will go to which node? B, C, E को message जाएगा. You can see in next figure. See, it broadcasts that particular route request. Then this request will go to the B, C, and E. Okay, and this array ये दिख रहा है bracket. This bracket shows that list of identifiers which are added to the at the source node. Okay, मतलब ये जो रूट को जाने वाला है ये रूट्स की इंफॉर्मेशन ये array में stored है. Okay, so at next step what will be done? These three nodes will send or will broadcast that route request to the connected nodes. Okay, so abhi this array contain this SE node, S or E का data है. This array contain the SC node. Okay, then but देखो अभी यहाँ पे क्या है, C also send this broadcast to H and B also send this broadcast to H. It means collision may appear here. Okay, so network collision can also appear in this GSR. After that, this E sends to F. Then what will be the path? or what will be in an array stored, that is SEF. Okay, and what is there in SCG, ठीक है. So node C receives node C receives the request from G and H again. ये जो ब्रॉडकास्ट रिक्वेस्ट है वो अगेन उसको रिसीव हुई, बट इट कैन नॉट और इट डज नॉट फॉरवर्ड दैट रिक्वेस्ट अगेन टू अदर होस्ट. व्हाई? बिकॉज it has already forwarded that root request to once. Okay, ये रूट रिक्वेस्ट ऑलरेडी सी ने इसको फॉरवर्ड किया, इसको फॉरवर्ड किया, इसको फॉरवर्ड किया एंड इसको फॉरवर्ड किया. तो ये अगेन रूट रिक्वेस्ट इसके पास आने के बाद वो अगेन सेंड नहीं करता. ठीक है. देन इसके बाद at this stage we are here at the J and at the K. Okay, next stage पे क्या है? We are here SEFJ. Okay, M के आने के बाद और यहाँ पे D पे आने के बाद we have this root that is SCGK. Okay, after that node J and K both broadcast that root request to the node D. ये दोनों अभी ये रूट रिक्वेस्ट सेंड करेंगे. व्हाई? बिकॉज द नोड जे एंड के आर हिडन फ्रॉम ईच अदर. वो कनेक्टेड है क्या? नहीं है. ओके, दैट्स व्हाई देयर ट्रांसमिशन में कोलाइड अगेन. देन व्हाट डज द डी डू? नोड डी डज नॉट फॉरवर्ड दैट root request. Why? Because D is the destination, as we all know that. Okay, so D is the destination, so it does not forward the root request to each and every one. Okay, so after this we will get the root that is SEFJD. Okay, at the finally. Then destination D on receiving the root request sends a root reply. So this is called as a RREP. Okay, it is called as a root reply. Then root reply is sent on a route obtained by reversing the route appended to the received root request. यहाँ पे root request में जो भी एड्रेस आया था वो एड्रेस मैंने बताया आपको SEFJD. So ये रिवर्स एड्रेस सेंड करेगा टू सेंड अ रिप्लाई. ओके, यही एड्रेस वो यूज करेगा. Then root reply includes the route from S to D on which root request was received by the node D. See, these route will be followed by the D to send the root reply. Understand? दिख रहा है ना? D ने कौन सा route यूज किया? This route will be followed by the D, which is reverse route which comes from the S. Okay. After that, node S on receiving the root reply caches the route included in the root reply. Then when node S sends the data packet to the D, the entire route is included in the packet header. जो भी पैकेट हेडर है उसमें ये रूट जो है वो मेंशन्ड है ऑलरेडी. तो ये अभी रूट रिप्लाई आने के बाद इसको अभी रूट पता हो गया. ठीक है, एस को. तो एस क्या करेगा? अभी उसका पैकेट सेंड करेगा. तो वो पैकेट कहाँ से जाएगा? फ्रॉम दिस रूट. क्यों? वो रूट अभी डिफाइन हो गया. ठीक है, अभी ये हर एक रूट पे जाने के बाद वो पैकेट डी को रिसीव होगा, ये रूट से जाने के बाद. ओके, when node S sends a data packet to D, the entire route is included in the packet header. Hence the name is that source routing. That's why the name is that source routing. Why it is the dynamic? Because it doesn't know the route fixed. Okay, it can be the dynamic. Then intermediate nodes use the source route included in a packet to determine to whom a packet should be forwarded. वो जो पैकेट सेंड होगा उसमें पैकेट जिसको फॉरवर्ड करना है उसका एड्रेस होगा. सो दैट रूट कैन बी चूजन बाय द नोड्स व्हिच कम्स अंडर द path. See, data comes along with this data, which is the route SEFJD. You can see SEFJD. ये रूट से डेटा जा रहा है. ठीक है. So here one drawback is there. So packet header size grows with the route length. मतलब अभी ये हम सिंपल एग्जांपल देख रहे हैं. अगर मल्टीपल पीसेस कनेक्टेड होंगे, पीसेस या फिर मोबाइल नोड्स कनेक्टेड होंगे नेटवर्क में, देन इट कैन नॉट फाइंड द रूट इजीली. सो हाँ, ये लेंथ क्या होती है? बढ़ते जाती है. ठीक है. सो दिस इज द DSR, दैट इज द डायनामिक सोर्स राउटिंग प्रोटोकॉल. सो रूट कैशिंग कैसे होता है? रूट कैशिंग मतलब क्या? कैश क्या होता है? कैश मेमोरी सुना है आपने?
यस मैम, टेम्पररी डेटा स्टोर करना है।
To store the temporary data, yes, but to store the roots of a particular node we have to use a cache memory of each node. जहाँ पे भी ये ब्रॉडकास्ट हो रहा है मैसेज, जहाँ से भी रूट फिक्स हो रहा है या फिर रूट रिप्लाई जा रहा है, रूट रिक्वेस्ट जा रहा है, वहाँ पे हम कैशे मेमोरी यूज करते हैं हर एक नोड पे। ठीक है, तो हर एक नोड की कैशे मेमोरी यूटिलाइज होती है यहाँ पे, एंड इट कैन बी यूज्ड within whole root request and whole root reply. You can see that to send when node s finds a root up to the d, it will save this root sefjd. Okay, then when k node receives the root request, it will save this root. When at the f, it will save this root. At the e, it will save this root, and all the nodes which are connected between the s and d will store this all type of roots. Okay, but it may be affect the storage capacity of that particular cache memory. Okay, so a node may also learn a root when it overhears the data. So what will be the problem there? Its stale caches may increase overheads. मतलब फुल ऑफ कैशेस जो होती है हमारी कैशे मेमोरी, ये बहुत छोटी होती है एंड दिस इज अ टेम्पररी मेमोरी, बट that full cache memory may increase the overheads of a network. Okay, so this is the drawback of a DSR. So what are the advantage क्या है इसके? It routes maintained only between nodes who need to be communicated. Okay, जिसको कम्युनिकेशन करना है वो ही रूट मेंटेन करता है ओनली, तो अदर रूट्स और अदर नोड्स does not maintain any route. If they are not receive the root request or root reply from any other system, then they don't come in any network. Then it reduces the overhead of a root maintenance. Root caching can further reduce the root discovery overhead. यहाँ पे हमने रूट डिस्कवरी यूज नहीं किया है, रूट कैशिंग यूज किया है। ठीक है, अ सिंगल रूट डिस्कवरी में yield many routes to the destination due to intermediate nodes replying from a local caches. एक सिंगल रूट हम फिक्स कर सकते हैं टू सेंड अ पर्टिकुलर इंफॉर्मेशन। What are the disadvantages? These are the many disadvantages of the DSR, that is dynamic source routing. Packet header size grows with the route length, as we all know that उसकी header size increase हो सकती है अगर हमारा route length वो ज़्यादा होगी तो। Flood of route requests may potentially reach all nodes in the network. It may get flooded when the route length is increased. Okay, potential collisions between route requests propagated by neighboring nodes. It means that multiple nodes can receive the route request from multiple nodes. Okay, it means collision will be happen there and network traffic is again happening there. Then increase contention if too many route replies come back due to the nodes reply. जो भी नोड रिप्लाई कर रहा है, तो अगर वो दो नोड को गया तो ये दो नोड एट अ टाइम रूट रिप्लाई सेंड करेंगे, सो इट रूट रिप्लाईज फ्रॉम प्रॉब्लम विल बी ऑकर देयर. ओके, देन स्टेल कैशेस विल लीड टू द इंक्रीज ओवरहेड, वो ये हमने ऑलरेडी डिस्कस किया है. ठीक है, अगर कैशेस ओवरहेड हो गए या ओवरफुल हो गए तो इट विल इंक्रीज इन ओवरहेड ऑफ अ नेटवर्क. So these are the disadvantage of the DSR. Understood? DSR, dynamic source routing. किसी कुछ प्रॉब्लम है इसमें? ऐसा नो?
No ma'am.
Now to overcome these drawbacks, next routing protocol is there, that is known as ad hoc on demand distance vector routing. अभी इसका मतलब ये दोनों में डिफरेंस आपको समझेगा, हम फिगर में ही देखेंगे डायरेक्टली कि कैसे डिफरेंस है इसमें. ठीक है, DSR includes source routes in packet headers, as we all know that. Resulting large headers can sometimes degrade the performance. Why? Because the length of a route can be increased. Okay, then EODV attempts to improve the DSR by maintaining the routing table at the nodes. अभी routing table हम store कर सकते हैं at each node in EODV. Okay, so that the data packets do not have the content routes. तो रूट कहाँ पे होंगे फिर हमारे? इन राउटिंग टेबल एट ईच नोड. ओके, सो स्टोरेज ओवरहेड जो होगा वो क्या होगा, उसमें ओवरकम होगा. स्टोरेज ओवरहेड का कम, स्टोरेज ओवरलोड का प्रॉब्लम इसमें रिमूव होगा. Then AODV retains the desirable feature of a DSR that routes are maintained only between the nodes which need to be communicate. जो nodes को communication करना है वो ही routing table maintain करेंगे. We can see in a figure. Again, same concepts are uses root request and root reply. Okay. Then this is forwarded in manner similar to DSR. When a node rebroadcasts the root request, it sets up a reverse path pointing towards a source. So ARDV assumes symmetric means bidirectional links. जिस रूट से आया है रूट रिक्वेस्ट वही रूट से रिप्लाई सेंड होगा. ठीक है. That's why it is called as a bidirectional links. Then the receiver node will send the root reply from that node or from that root only, and root reply travels along the reverse path set up when the root request is forwarded. We will see in figure. See, this is the AODV. Same example is taken. S wants to send the message to the D. Okay, so S sends the root request to the D. How? Again, it broadcasts the message. Okay, then this line represents the bidirectional method. You can see the reverse path. Okay, reverse path store हो रहा है. किस पे store हो रहा है? लेकिन at each node पे क्या हो रहा है? यहाँ पे routing table generate हो रहा है, maintain हो रहा है. That can be store the reverse path also. Okay, you can see by using this arrow the reverse path is stored. So node C received the root request from the G and H. G and H से root request receive हुआ, but it does not forward it because it send once. Okay, same method है DSR का. Then it will reach up to the D. You can see. And next, node D does not forward the request. Why? Because the node D is the destination. Okay, so what will be the forwarded? Forward links are set up when root reply travels along the reverse path. ये देखो ये reverse path दिख रहा है आपको. Reverse path is set back again, so that it represents the link to a link that will be forwarded the message. Okay, ये जो link है automatically create होती है AODV में. क्यों? क्योंकि ये path जो है वो routing table में inserted है at the routing table of S. ओके, सो ई में कुछ भी स्टोर नहीं है, एफ में कुछ भी स्टोर नहीं है, जे में कुछ भी स्टोर नहीं है, ओनली एस में स्टोर्ड है एंड ओनली डी में स्टोर्ड है. वाई? बिकॉज दिस इज अ सोर्स एंड दिस इज अ डेस्टिनेशन. सो डेस्टिनेशन में ये रिवर्स पाथ स्टोर्ड है एंड सोर्स में कौन सा पाथ स्टोर्ड है? फॉरवर्ड पाथ स्टोर्ड है. Okay, so while sending the message from the S will directly send through this route to the D. Understood? So this is the difference between AODV and DSR. DSR is nothing but a dynamic source routing, and AODV means ad hoc distance vector routing. Okay, समझा दोनों concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
परत एक्सप्लेन करायचे का? दोनों में डिफरेंस समझा आपको क्या है?
Yes, ma'am.
यही एक्सप्लेन किया है यहाँ पे कि रूट रिक्वेस्ट क्या है एंड रूट रिप्लाई क्या है. रूट रिक्वेस्ट इंक्लूड द लास्ट नॉन सीक्वेंस नंबर इन AODV for the destination. Okay, when packet is sent, then an intermediate node may also send a root reply provided that it knows the more recent path that the one previously known to the sender. जो sender को known है वो root reply send कर सकता है if this is a sender for previous connection. Intermediate nodes that forward the root reply also record the next hop to the destination. A routing table entry maintaining a reverse path. Routing table entry क्या करती है? Reverse path is also maintained at the D and the forwarded path at the S. Okay, the forward path is purged if not used for a active route timeout. मतलब अगर उस दोनों में कम्युनिकेशन हो गया है सक्सेसफुली और आफ्टर सेंडिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर मैसेज और पैकेट टू दैट डेस्टिनेशन, इफ the timeout is happened, then it will be removed from the system. That path will be removed from the routing table, so no storage overhead is occurred there. Okay, so this is the link failure which can be the disadvantage of the AODV. You can see, A neighbor of a node X is considered active for a routing table entry if the neighbor sent packet with the active route timeout interval, which was forwarded using that entry. But if the link failure happen, then it cannot be make the communication between S and D. Okay, so that the neighboring nodes periodically exchange hello messages between each and every node to say that I am live in a network. Okay, when the next hop link in a routing table entry breaks, all active neighbors are informed. जो भी लिंक अगर क्लोज हुई तो एक्टिव नोड्स जो है नेटवर्क में दैट विल बी इन्फॉर्म्ड बाय द system or by the routing table of each node. Okay, so that comes under the root error, that is to, taken care about the root error messages. Okay, RERR, if link failure appears in a system, say so it will send the root error messages. Okay, how it will be done? This is the example. When node X is unable to forward the packet P from S to D on the link XY link, okay, so it generates the root error message. So what will be done next? Node X increments the destination sequence number for D cached at node X, okay. ये sequence number increment करेगा, why? Because error message is there. Then that incremented sequence number n is included in this message, that is root error message. And after that the node S receives this message, that is the root error message, and it initiates a new root discovery for the D. अगर दोनों में लिंक फेल्यूर आया है तो it receives the root error message, then it will again form the new root discovery for the D, okay, using the sequence number of a destination. When the D node receives the root request with the destination sequence number n, then D will make the connection between S and D. Okay, so this can be also happen in AODV. Understood? So it will be reported by using the root error message. Samjha? So this is the summary of a AODV. It roots need not to be included in packet headers. This is the advantage of AODV. Nodes maintain routing table containing entries only for the routers that are active in network. जो भी active नहीं है nodes, that information cannot be taken care. At most, one next hop per destination maintained at each node. Okay, but on the other side, DSR may maintain several routers or routes for a single destination. ये disadvantage था इसका. Then sequence number are used to avoid the old or broken routes. Okay, sequence number है यहाँ पे, and sequence number also prevent the formation of routing loops, and unused routes will be expired even if the topology does not change. जो भी रूट्स हम यूज नहीं कर रहे, बहुत टाइम हो गया वो रूट यूज नहीं कर रहे, दैट रूट्स विल बी expired and that will be removed from the routing table in AODV. Okay, that's all. This is the AODV. Understood or not? सिंपल है दोनों कंसेप्ट, आप अगर रीड भी करोगे तो भी समझ जाएंगे.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so these are the references I have used to take you for the this type of concepts of a network layer. Okay, you can go through it also if you have any doubt. Okay, so this is our the end of third unit. I will upload this PPT on Google Classroom today itself. So now in next lecture we will start fourth unit.